Hi, Port Lalonde here from Three Dads and a Console, and this is going to be my review of Senua Saga Hellblade 2. Now, there's a lot to talk about this game. It is a huge story-driven game, but I want to thank Xbox Canada providing a code for review so that I could play it early and give you my thoughts. Like our couple of reviews that we've done here at Three Dads and a Console, I'm just going to talk into the camera, have some gameplay going on, but it's going to be script-free. It's just going to be all off the top of my head. I'm going to be talking about audio, going to be talking about the graphics, going to be talking about the gameplay. I'm going to touch on the story, but because this game is so story driven, I'm going to try and not give away any of the story whatsoever. I can tell you this. Here's what I can tell you about the story. You are Senua, who is fighting her demons and trying to overcome those demons to get her to where she needs to be. You're going to be fighting enemies. You're going to be traveling through different parts of the world, and you're going to be fighting your demons. And truly, because of the sound design, you feel like you're fighting them with her. The game isn't long. It took me just over 8 hours to finish. That's why I don't really want to give a lot to the story. If you played the first one, or you've even seen the commercial, you know what you're getting with regards to a Ninja Theory Hellblade game. Ninja Theory, to me right now, is one of the best developers right now for telling a story. The story in this game is amazing. I'll tell you right off the bat, this is not in the game of the year category for me, but at the same time, if I had to get it a score out of 10, I'm going to give it an 8 for the graphics. On the Xbox Series X, the game runs at 4K 30 frames per second, and honestly, don't know what the controversy is about. I saw so much controversy surrounding this game before it was released, of people complaining already, before they'd even played it, that it was 4K 30. Well, guess what? The game looks unbelievable. 30 frames per second is perfect. I didn't notice any stuttering. I didn't notice anything during combat. I didn't notice anything when I turned Senua around while I was playing the game. I will say this. I'm sure, you know what? I'm 100% positive. People are going to be putting out videos because there's no ray tracing that when you walk over puddles, you do not see reflection. And you know what? I didn't even care because the cinematics of this game and the set pieces that they did are unbelievable. I truly felt like I was watching a Netflix or an HBO TV show while playing this game. They did such a phenomenal job with regards to cutscenes or even the world that you're walking around. The detail that I saw on pieces of wood or the buildings or just on the ground itself or off in the distance, I truly felt that I was being immersed in this world. You get bright colors, you get dark colors, you get dynamic weather. Ninja Theory did it's a home run. It is totally a home run with regards to the ambiance, the building that they did with regards to the level design and what you see because you truly feel immersed in this game. It's next gen. There's not a lot of games that have come out this generation on the PS5 or the Xbox Series X that I would say this is 100% next gen. No, this game is 100% next gen. It looks amazing. I wouldn't say that it's pushing the Xbox Series X all the way to the full, but I kind of want to play this on PC now and see what I can do with it because I understand on PC you can push it and to see how great this game would look because, man, it's pretty impressive. Now, I want to talk about the sound design. This, it has to win an award at the Game Awards. It's some of the best sound design I've ever heard in a video game. I remember it being good in the first Hellblade, which I want to be honest, I wasn't a big fan of. This game, liked it so much more, but the sound design, oh my God, it added so much to the game. It scared the living daylights out of me as you hear Senua going through her psychosis and all these different voices talking to you over and over again. The Dolby Atmos, it's going around you. It's just you can hear from behind you. You can hear in front of you. You can hear enemies coming up from behind you. It adds so much with the rain, the lightning, the wind. You just hear everything, and it's almost like you can feel it. And the voices, as you stop playing the game, you kind of hear them for a little bit, which can be a bit much. So I will say this: if you suffer from some sort of psychosis or you have, mental health issues, and we all have them, but some of a bit of a breakdown, you might need a pause while you're playing this game. It can get to you. Like I found in some of the horror aspects of this game, and I'm going to dive into that right next, though it scared the living daylights out of me. But when you hear some of the voices say some of the thoughts that maybe you might have had in your life, it can get to you and it can make you really think. This game makes you think more than a lot of games that I've played. So for the mental health aspect, Ninja Theory, well done. And the sound design is there. At the very beginning of the game, when you turn it on, it actually will tell you, we recommend you playing with headphones. Play it with headphones because it doesn't do it justice. I played at some points without headphones, and I kind of wish I didn't because I almost like ruin the experience of the game because it really brings you in and is part of the game. I mentioned horror before because this game is so scary. I can't believe how scary this game is. I was actually in shock. I didn't expect it. You get this lighting that comes in and all these different things are moving pieces are happening on the screen. I even in my brain was joking to myself. It was almost like I was watching a Nine Inch Nails video and Trent Reznor was designing it just because of the way things are going on or like a Tool video because of the sound and the images that you see on the screen. They do something even better than what we see in like the Alan Wake games or in Control, how they have the flashes going on the screen. They do this even better. They have characters off in the distance and you just see a red light with a silhouette of a character. It scares the living daylights out of you. Like, wow. I can't believe it. You walk into these villages at the very beginning of the game and you see some things that you don't want to see in a video game. The amount of dismembered bodies and all these people that are dead, and then the tension is being built by the sound, and you know that you're about to fight the enemies that made all this disgusting death that you've been seeing around you in decay. And then you have to fight these enemies that I can only say remind me of clickers from The Last of Us, that they're coming at you in waves from all around you. And there is no tutorial with regards to the combat. So at the very beginning of the game, you're going to get flashed up on the screen, the controller, and show you what the controls are. Just remember them. So you do have a parry, you do have a roll, and then you have your attack and your strong attack. There's pretty much. And you do have a run button, which you don't run very fast, but the combat it's good. Like, I got used to it after a while. At first, I was getting a little bit beat up, which you can't really die. I'll say this. It's very hard to die. I think I died twice while playing this game, but the combat didn't feel the same. Each enemy that you're going through, even in the waves of the enemies, some had fire abilities that they were coming at you with. They all felt different. At different stages of each level that you're going through or the chapters, there's different enemy types. And those enemies feel different, whether they move faster, they move slow, or they're a brute, or they're a human enemy that you're fighting. And then when you kill them, especially on the human enemies, you can see in Senua's face the remorse she feels as she kills them. At first, you can see that she's almost, you know, getting a thrill from it as she kills. But after she does it, you can actually see the remorse. Or when you're seeing other humans be killed in the game as you're trying to save them, you can hear the voices asking you to go into it. But you're almost, as at the same time, Senua's scared to even get into the fight. You do get it's like a mirror. It's not like a mirror. It is a mirror that sits on your side that will light up. And when it lights up fully, you can press a button. It's like a special power, and you can pretty much vanquish any one enemy. You only have one enemy at a time, so you're not really going to be ever fighting more than one enemy. You will see them off in the distance, but they do a great job of having it so it's just one enemy at a time, but you will get waves upon waves of enemies coming at you. But the combat, after a while, it feels fluid. And, because the game isn't long, like I said, it was just over 8 hours for me, it doesn't feel repetitive as much as I thought it would. Some parts of the game did feel repetitive, and that's some of the things that I didn't like about the first Hellblade. They brought it back over, but the combat didn't. Like I said, it was different enemy types for different chapters, and the bigger boss battles and the mini boss battles and these puzzles that you had to do to even kill some of the bosses, it made it for variety. So I will say kudos to Ninja Theory on the combat. The combat it's great. Like, they did a fantastic job with the combat, just like they did with the sound design. It's some parts of the level design with regards to the puzzles where it's funny. At first, I was like, these puzzles are great, but as you get further on in the game, you're doing the same puzzle over and over and over again. At least I felt that way. You're looking for these symbols off in the distance, and you're putting it together, and you're going into certain areas just to line up those symbols to open up the gate to go on to the next part. And after a while, I just wanted to get to the story beats. So I just felt like I was just, mindlessly getting it done just so I can move on through the game. I didn't feel like any of these were any amount of but of a challenge. So I just wanted them done. And it kind of annoyed me. And I think that's where the game is an 8 and not a perfect game for me, because those parts of the game, I almost felt like they didn't need to be there, or didn't need to be there as much. And especially as you're going through the world, which is beautiful, like I mentioned, but it sometimes takes you so long to get to the next part. And maybe, with video games nowadays, they're just hiding a loading screen here because you're taking so long at some points to run through this linear path that you have no other choice. There are side parts so you can go off and get the collectibles, like these trees or these pillars that you'll look at symbols and you press the focus button and it'll bring you in. And a lot of these are hidden, so you have to focus on certain objects that will unlock these paths. Now, these puzzles do have some variety to them, but as you progress, it's like they couldn't get any more variety, so they just take okay, here's this new element to a puzzle where you can make thing appear or disappear, and here's this other element to the puzzle where you've got to find your way over. Now we can combine those two elements, and then they'll add a new element to that, and then the next puzzle, all three of those elements are in the puzzle to solve the puzzle. I will say, it wasn't like they made it too difficult to solve these puzzles. When you're doing a review of the game, I don't have the internet to look up to solve these puzzles. So I had to figure it out, but they weren't challenging at all. I'll admit that. They're not challenging. You're not going to be looking up any help guides to figure out how to do these puzzles. But I guess Ninja Theory had to put them in there to get some variety to the game. Just, it wasn't a part that I was a big fan of. You know, I was a fan of the story, and I will say, like I said, I'm not going to give you any parts of the story. I don't want to give that away. It's not a long game, but the story is phenomenal, and it's something that everybody should experience. The game is not too expensive. I believe it's $49.99 in the US, so that's $59.99 here in Canada. It's a AAA game. It is worth your money. They respect your wallet in this game. Or if you have Xbox Game Pass, you can play it there. I truly think I might play it again on PC just so I can see how beautiful this game looks. I only played it on the Xbox Series X, but I really did like it. And here at Three Dads in the Console, we always talk about, can you play this game in front of your kids? Yeah, not a chance. That horror aspect and the ambiance that they put around it, heck, I wouldn't even want my kid hearing me play this game. Anytime my daughter walked into the room, instantly, I press pause, or I turn the game off totally. If she was coming home from school and I was playing it, boom, I would just turn it off automatically. It's not going to take you long to play. I honestly recommend playing it in the dark with the headphones on and really scaring the living daylights out of yourself, because the game's scary. The combat's great. The story is fantastic. Like I said, it's an 8 just because I really got annoyed with the puzzles after a while. They weren't for me. But if you liked what you heard, or you like our content here at Three Dads in the Console, please drop us a like, drop us a subscribe. We truly appreciate it, and it really helps us out. I'm Court from Three Dads in a Console, and this has been Senua's Saga Hellblade 2 in review. And Ninja Theory, please make another one.